over 50% of students go into medical school thinking they're going to do one specialty and then change. Not saying that that would be you, but you never know. So for any students that are listening, don't box yourself into one thing, because then and I almost did this, because then you'll feel like you can't change even if you want to, and you're like fighting against whatever naturally happens. So just go in with an open mind and then see what happens, especially third year. You'll learn a lot more when you do the different rotations. Will you be able to get plastics experience in third year in surgery, or have you been doing anything to try and get that?
So I don't think that there's a plastics like department or residency at the hospital that I'll be doing rotations at next year. But I worked during my gap year with a plastic surgeon, Dr. Austin, who's in LA, and she's amazing. And I was her medical assistant, so I was able to get a lot of exposure. I was with her with every procedure, every surgery. So it was really fun. She's a facial plastic surgeon, and she always told me, she's like super young and really cool, and we became really good friends. She always told me, she was like, okay, now you go to medical school and now you become a body plastic surgeon.
Nice. And you got the whole thing, face.
Yeah, I was like, okay, fine. Like, can we sign something?
She's waiting. Lock that contract in.
I know, right? So, I got experience there. And then she had some doctors that she worked with that I was able to go sort of shadow. I got exposure there. And then we just submitted a paper together, Dr. Austin.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
It's pending review now?
Yes. Yeah. It's just it wasn't anything like super clinical. It was a systematic review for this new technology, radio frequency. I don't know if you it's for face
aesthetics. Yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. It's really cool. And then, so I was in med school as we were writing this, but once we were online, I guess that like a lot of free time opened up, and because we were writing this paper, she was like, do you want to just like come in and be my other medical assistant, or like just come in and watch some of these procedures? And so I got to go in on my days off, and that was really nice, really fun. I got to see the procedure that we were writing about finally. I was like, cool. I don't know. It's all written like in the intros and stuff about how the procedure works and what's going on, but you can't really imagine it. And then you go in and you're like, oh, this is what they were talking about.
That makes a ton of sense. I've done like spine research, and we're talking about all these fancy surgeries. I'm like, but when you don't see it in person, it's very hard to like visualize from text what it is. And yet you're the student writing this research. That's good. So what did you think of taking the gap year? Did you enjoy it? It sounds like you did, because you had a good position. This is, I know, a question I get from students a lot about before, should they try to go straight through, take a gap year? I don't know if you've gotten this from younger pre-meds before.
Yeah. I'm super happy with my decision to take a gap year. One of the biggest things is that even like during my gap year, I felt like I didn't have enough time to like put all the effort into my applications and stuff like that. So I couldn't imagine trying to apply while I was a senior in college. And so that's a big point to sort of consider when you're on the fence of whether you want to take a gap year or not. And then, I don't know, I had the best time during my gap year.
Yeah.
Especially after I got into medical school.
Even better. Okay, now there's no stress here.
Yeah. And so I went and traveled. I visited like all my friends from college, because I went to college in Michigan, and I'm from LA. So my friends were sort of scattered across the US. So in that time I got to travel. I went to Nashville, Michigan, Chicago, New York, everywhere where my friends were. I went and saw them.
I'm jealous. That was my goal for my my medical school gap year, and that fell through. But no, that's awesome. I've yet to hear. I try to ask this because I've yet to hear a student that I've either like mentored in the past or just went talking to other people that regretted taking a gap year. It's a year that you have the time for yourself. It makes the pre-med process a little bit less stressful because you don't have to, like you mentioned, do MCAT applications, all this stuff while taking classes. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes that negatively affects students' grades, et cetera, because it's just a lot at once. Mm-hmm. And you get other cool experience like this connection with the plastic surgeon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Connection for your future career, regardless of what you end up doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's amazing. She's provided me with so much advice, and not even just like in like if I want to pursue plastics. She's just been a good, a good mentor, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
But yeah, I would highly recommend taking a gap year. I loved it.
I would agree with you, even though it's a little hypocritical for me to say because I didn't. But for like the majority of students, I think it just makes a ton of sense, and I guess that's why I didn't take the gap year. So now I'm doing one a little bit later.